Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about anxiety, and I'm going to be leading you through a guided meditation and a little bit of a short little stretch sequence. And just keep in mind that as we're doing this, when we're coming into our meditation, this isn't designed to take you into that fourth dimension. So as cool as that may be, this is specifically to help you cope with and deal with the throes of anxiety. Anxiety manifests itself in many ways, many different ways for different people. I deal with occasional anxiety. I have family members that deal with a lot of anxiety. So for me, I experience increased heart rate. I get a little bit shaky or short of breath, all the things which are terrifying right now when we think about the COVID-19 symptoms. But I can also just be overcome with this overwhelming sense of dread or doom, and that can inadvertently lead to me being a little bit overactive, a little bit underactive and lethargic, or even becoming irritable or depressed. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this as well. And maybe you even have other experiences and how you deal with your anxiety or how you experience your anxiety. So before we really kind of get into it here, I want you to give yourself a moment to just go ahead. Give yourself permission to feel these things. It's okay. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be worried. It's okay to be a little bit scared. And as long as we're able to allow ourselves to really feel these emotions, then we can start to process them. Then we can start to cope with them. We might not ever be able to fully get rid of them, but confronting them head on, giving ourselves permission to do that, can at least help us to manage. So there are, besides meditation, and a lot of this is going to sound kind of cliche, right? Because we know quite a bit about anxiety now. Even if you don't regularly deal with it, you kind of know the basics just from probably the media or listening to your friends. So a lot of these things I'm about to say are probably a little cliche or common sense, so just bear with me. But so there's a lot of physical things like actions and material things that we can bring to our lives when we're really feeling anxious. My favorite happens to be essential oils, and I have a specific blend that I make. It really resonates with me. You know, Other people might want to add a little bit of maybe their favorite scent to it. Mine happens to be patchouli, which also happens to be a very grounding, very calming scent. But it's a mixture of lavender, sweet orange, we have the patchouli, we have clary sage, chamomile, and what was the other one? Oh, lang lang. So it's a big variety, a very herbal, a little bit floral, and I have it in a roller bottle, and I carry it in my purse. So if I'm just driving down the road and I feel anxious, I apply it to my pulse points and put it behind my ears, smell it for a little bit. It really does help me to just find a sense of presence and be able to kind of start regulating my breath and beginning to calm down. Sorry. Um, Another thing, action that you can take is turn off your devices or step away from them, even if it's for 20 minutes. Sometimes a lot of our anxiety comes from this looming unknown, right? Which we experience a lot when we read the news or see what other people are going through or read about more fatalities every single day. So take a moment to step away from that. It'll be there later. If you really need to come back to it, it will still be there. But allowing yourself a break from it is essential, because it is so close when becoming aware can become obsessed. And I've said this before, that we really need to give ourselves conscious time to step away and to turn our minds off from all of it. Another thing I like here, I have some black tourmaline. And generally, I use this in my classes because it absorbs negative energy and like radiation from electronics. But like I said, it can also just absorb, some of the things that you're feeling that aren't so great. It's black, it's absorbent. So having a little bit of this nearby is always very helpful. Like no matter what situation you're in, whenever you want something to be absorbed or taken away, some black tourmaline is really great because it can help neutralize all that energy. I'm a big proponent for drinking water. When I start to feel really anxious, I immediately go drink a pint of water. Um, there's just something about it that calms me down. Maybe it's the ritual of pouring the glass, drinking it, and having a moment to just really be present, focusing on just drinking that glass of water. But most of the time, a lot of people are semi-dehydrated, so it might physically just help your body as well to be get some fluids in you. And of course, we have deep breathing. We're going to talk about that a little bit later when we start to get into our meditation. And as always, you know, we can't always control what's going on around us, and there are a few things that we can control as long as we have our health, and one of those is the breath. So even when things start to feel so overwhelming that everything feels like it's slipping out of your hands, and the sense of dread comes over you, the one thing that you can do for yourself is just to focus on breathing, right? It's the one thing in that moment that you might be able to control. And then getting outside, take off your shoes, put your feet in the grass, just really trying to find a sense of being grounded. And I understand that some of you might not have access to essential oils or black tourmaline or be able to get outside right now. Maybe you're in quarantine. And that's where this control of the breath and taking a moment, maybe not to come into our standard meditation practice where we're trying to reach some higher levels of consciousness, but to take a break, to sit and be quiet and breathe. And that's what we really just want to focus on right now. So I'd like you to be really comfortable as we start to get into this. Put on a sweater, a little bit of extra comfort, grab a blanket. I'm up on a meditation pillow, but I'm going to lean against a bolster against the wall just so I don't have to worry so much about keeping myself upright. Like I said, we're not trying to go into those ultra dimensions right now. We're just trying to find a sense of peace and quiet to help cope with any anxiety we may be feeling. So allow yourself a few moments just to get comfortable to come into your space. If you'd like to have a bottle of water nearby, maybe you have some oils in the diffuser, or maybe you want to just light a candle too. I'm going to take my tourmaline in my lap. If there's a crystal or maybe even just any sort of special rock or little object that means a lot to you, that brings good thoughts, good memories, any sort of happiness, like why not? Go ahead, hold on to it, put it in your lap. And before we start to close our eyes and connect with the breath, I want you to start to release some stagnant energy. A lot of times anxiety can manifest itself in feelings of like the overwhelming emotion, right? And it's because it's stuck somewhere. And we usually talk about the chakras being out of balance, but that's a conversation for another time. We're going to focus on just battling the anxiety today. But so a little bit of movement that we can make before we come to sit down and be quiet will help us to release some of that stagnancy. So on an inhale, I want you to make a fist with your hands. So squeezing the fingers and squeezing the toes. Exhale, we'll release. One more time. Shake out your hands. Roll the shoulders around fairly quickly, but not so fast that you're going to cause some damage. Alternate them. So we're just creating a little bit of quick movement, still being mindful within the body. Drop your head down gently. Little couple mini rolls from side to side. Inhale, bring your head back through center. Take a breath in, sigh it out through the mouth. One more time. Now maybe some of that energy can begin to disperse. You might be feeling the heart a little bit racing right now because we moved a little bit, and that's okay. We're going to start to calm it down. But we wanted to get that stagnancy releasing, breaking up, and starting to make its way out. So begin to make yourself comfortable. Lean back if that feels good. Sit up straight. If you want to lay down in Shavasana, that's fine as well. Wherever you're going to be most comfortable. We're going to be spending a few minutes here. Bring your hands to your lap. Keep the palms face down. This is going to keep your energy within, right? This is going to be a practice for a little bit of self-healing. can allow the eyes to soften or close. And as we start to check in with the body here, notice first where you're clenching. It's almost a guarantee that when we first come into this position, we're clenching something. For me, it's my stomach. I'm going to take a couple breaths here and begin to relax my belly. Sometimes I have a tendency to clench my jaw or tense up into the shoulders. Maybe that's you today. So just using these first initial rounds of breath, the natural breath, to start releasing the body. And you may find yourself tensing back up, and that's okay. Bring your awareness back, breathe and release. We'll take a few more rounds with our natural breath. And as we come into this space and start to go within, I want you to give yourself permission to feel. Stop battling the emotions. Stop trying to repress them or put on a happy face or the game face. Allow yourself to be present with what you feel. Whatever it is that you're feeling right now is valid, whether it be anxiety or fear, uncertainty, or even paranoia. It's okay. We're going to slowly begin deepening and building upon the breath. As you inhale, slow inhale, feel the belly expand. Air coming up into the chest. And gentle release. And just repeating in your head, nice little mantra, keeping it simple. I'm aware of my inhale. I'm aware of my exhale. And your breath might not be quite lengthened out yet. You might still be feeling a little nervous, and that's okay. We're going to spend a few extra moments here just connecting with the breath. I'm aware of my inhale. I'm aware of my exhale. Continue with this deep breathing and check back in with your body. Soften and relax anywhere that may have become tense. We'll continue this controlled deep breathing for 5 more rounds. And after that 5th round of breath, you can start to relax through the breath a little bit if it feels okay. If you want to stay with the deep breathing, if that feels really good for you, please stay with it and release whenever you're ready. And if it feels good to start softening your control over the breath, you can begin to do so. And remember, we're not trying to release all control. We're not trying to go off into the great beyond today. We're just trying to find a moment of peace. And perhaps our mantra changes a little bit here. I am supported through the breath. I am secure through the breath. I am safe within the breath. Continue with your breathing, whatever it may feel like. Gently check back in with the body. Release and relax. And again, perhaps we change our mantra. I find certainty within the breath. I find awareness within the breath. I find peace within the breath. Continue breathing. You might be able to soften the breath just a little bit more. Soften through the body. And if your thoughts have started to jump around, you can come right back to the beginning. I'm aware of my inhale. I'm aware of my exhale. We're going to sit here for a few more minutes. Whether you've let the breath become soft or you're still feeling good with the deep breathing, continue with whatever feels comfortable for you. Continuing to use the mantras, or maybe finding one of your own. Continuing to check in with the body, soften and relax. Gently begin to deepen through your breath. Keeping the body relaxed, the face relaxed, the shoulders, the belly, the hands and the feet. Subtly begin to build back into your controlled breath. Finding expansion as you breathe in and gentle release as you exhale. Take one more deep inhale. This time we'll exhale through the mouth. We're going to do that 2 more times, breathing in. Slowly start to move out your fingers and toes, dipping the chin down into the chest. Softly move the head from side to side. Coming to stillness and center, you can gently begin to flutter open the eyes, and using an inhale, bring your head back to center. We're going to take a gentle twist. So if you are lying down on the mat, come up to a seated position, or you can come to a twist reclined on your back with the knees side to side. Take a breath in. If you're seated, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, we'll twist to the left or knees to the right if you're reclined. Very gently. Take another breath in. Exhale, maybe we deepen. Breathing in. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Exhale, twisting to the right. If you're on your back, knees will go to the left. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Breathe in. Exhale to center. Arms out to the side. On an inhale, reach them up overhead. You can do this on your back as well. Exhale, hands to the heart, or you can float your knees into the chest. Breathing in and out. You can come back to this practice in any length throughout the rest of your day or whenever you're feeling anxious. I really hope this resonates with some of you and you get some use out of it. I look forward to next time. Namaste.